Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Asma Isa and I am your presenter for this particular topic, namely non-linear broadcasting for intrinsic motive and censorship among audience in Malaysia. So my focus of presentation today is to share with you part of my research finding, in particular normality and multicollinearity analysis. As we are aware that we achieved our independent state since 1957, and since that there are several pieces of legislation has been introduced and imposed by our government with aim to protect our rights as citizens. There are two important drivers by government in justifying policies and rules is to prevent, and second, to save restraints in order to ensure our community and society living in harmony. The function of the law not only limited to protect the public interest, but also mirror image our civilization. According to Cricken 2019, civilization and barbarism distinct the structure of human thinking about most significant aspect of social and political in life. Malaysian law based on common law. In Malaysian context, civilization also shaped by historical factors, culture, adat resam, religion, race, royalty, and not to forget political aspect. Prior to 1997, we experienced market liberalization, which is at that time telecommunication and broadcasting industries are separated, which is separated market. However, in 2002, the government merged all the act under communication market under one umbrella. We name it as Communications and Multimedia Act 1998 to facilitate the convergence ICT related activities. So CMA has been designed to articulate and support technology neutral and service neutral. So content regulation in Malaysia, this is very important for us to know that there are two acts govern content regulation in Malaysia. Firstly is Communication Multimedia Act 1998 and secondly is Censorship Act 2002. Who should comply with the act? This is very important questions because the act is supposed to be to protect long-term benefit to general public. So all license providers in Malaysia should comply with the act. License provider assigned by MCMC, and also to be specific, all content access service all content application service provider licensee should comply with the act. All right, like I mentioned just now that my study focusing on non-linear broadcasting. However, as a researcher, very important also for us to explain about linear broadcasting. So linear broadcasting in Malaysia is highly regulated by regulator. In the past, government allow monopoly of media ownership simply because at the time only one national TV provider, which is we call it as Rangkaian Satu or TV1 now, which was established in 1963. However, in 2011, our Prime Minister at the time, Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi, announced that major reformation of the law that allow greater media freedom should be implemented. So what is the characteristic for linear broadcasting? Linear broadcasting are provided in a continuous real-time manner with the service provider setting the time of transmission and specific content will be broadcasted, instead of the viewer. The viewer just, switch on the TV and watch the movie, for instance. But for non-linear broadcasting, the audience has more power. They can decide when they want to watch the content. by what device? Is it through the smartphone, smart TV, or laptop? They can decide anytime and anywhere they can access to the content. And then, however, MCMC of the view that um, non-linear broadcasting and linear broadcasting should be treated differently. And that's why no regulatory or content regulation imposed to OTT player at this time. However, this study of the view that OTT media streaming is an alternative to information seeking, entertainment and escapism, similar like linear broadcasting. So this is summary what I have mentioned just now: linear broadcasting and non-linear broadcasting. Linear broadcasting, which is all assigned licensed by MCMC, like TV3, Astro, TV1, HIP TV, TV Hijrah, and so and so. However, for non-linear broadcasting, Netflix might be popular now. iFlix, View, Amazon Video, and Dim Sum, for instance. This is contoh, actually many more. Alright, this is the gap. Why we want to show to you the gap, because MCMC said that our regulator or policymaker said that OTT or non-linear broadcasting and linear broadcasting should be treated separately. And then we should actually review or have a look at the audience or user experience, regardless whether the content provision on cable, terrestrial, digital, satellite, IP or internet link are considered as growth engine for the Malaysian network content industry. As such, we do not consider that there are any rationale for the separation between the content broadcasted via linear TV and non-linear TV, such as OTT media platform, including approach of mandating the censorship to OTT media content. You see, all the now, for instance, like TV3, Bulletin Utama, you can watch the Bulletin Utama via handphone because it's now available via internet. Secondly, the approach of uniform content regulation is also consistent with the technology neutral principle as advocated in CMA 1998. In this perspective, the technology is often not aware of the technology being used to access the content at any time given. So, for instance, like, for the normal viewer or audience, they do not know where they can access the content. This is transparent to them, whether they have to use the CDN or they use the OLT or they use the, UHD TV. Is transparent to them. The most important to them, they can use any type of device such as smart TV, laptop, tablet or smartphone, to access the content. That's the most important thing for them to achieve the information seeking, entertainment or escapism, to fulfill their needs basically. So what's the issue? Despite booming demand for content ad via OTT platform, there is a debate highlighted by one of MP last year that content ad by Netflix has too many LGBTQ elements, X-rated, explicit language and violence, which could bring negative influence to our society. And then most of OTT media players such as Netflix do not censor the content of the shows, movies and drama series that are available on their platform. Thus, audience has full access to the uncensored version of movies and drama series which can be accessed within the OTT media player data storage. So, in addition to that Netflix, through original Netflix, wants more audience to see the real life and culture reflected on screen in universal context, which is, in Malaysia, LGBTQ is not allowed, same-sex marriage also not allowed because it is contradicting with our religion and culture. So this is the gap. MCMC approach not to mandate the content, broadcasted via non-linear broadcasting media platform should be and then we are of the view that should be classified as the same, not different platform, not different market. So to address and to answer the issues, we use two theories. First is the users and gratification theories. We employed this theory to elaborate the intrinsic motive why user use or subscribe to Netflix, for instance, And then for public interest theory, we employed the public interest theory to elaborate censorship, because censorship is actually in modern context is actually to protect the audience, to protect the benefit of the end user. So this is research methodology, and I will explain to you our sampling procedure. So our approach for this study is we use a quantitative approach, which is mono method, and we use a probability sampling method, certified data sampling, and simple random. And our sample is only in Klang Valley. To be specific, our sampling will be based on our OTT media subscribers at least 3 months registered with the OTT media content. Our sample is 700, and we use online survey via Google Form, because now it's COVID-19, very difficult for us to have a face-to-face or drop-off kind of survey. So we use the online Google Form survey. So in return, we managed to receive feedback, a total of 643 completed, returned back to us. And then with success rate, almost 92% return rate. However, after data cleaning, only 606 are able to be used for further analysis. This is our sampling procedure. Yeah. However, for instrument development process, our study based on theory. Just now I explained to you, we use users and gratification theory to elaborate the motive, and public interest theory to elaborate the censorship. And all the instrument are based on literature review. And the questionnaire, our questionnaire is based on adapt and adopt from the previous study. And since all the previous survey has been conducted overseas, and we use back-to-back translation, because in Malaysia we have to use Bahasa and also English to reach our respondents, to answer our questionnaire. And then we appointed 5 experts to evaluate our instruments. So for measurement construct, for information, we have 5 items. This is the source that we adopt and adapt the questionnaire. 7 items altogether. Entertainment, 5 items. Escapism, 3 items. And censorship, 6 items. These all items we use after we run the EFA for our real study. This is a result for normality test. Our study look at normality based on skewness and kurtosis score. So based on Tabanicic and Fidel 2014, the skewness and kurtosis values are less than ±2. So this is the result. So this is meet the criteria suggested by Tabanic and Fidel 2014. And this is for multicollinearity test. Okay, based on BAN 2010, the value should not exceed 0.85, right? So this is the construct, construct for information, entertainment, and escapism, and also censorship. All are below than 0.85. So this study meet the criteria set by the previous researcher and meet the standard. So in conclusion, this paper had addressed two construct. I'm sorry, there is a spelling error here. Of the study, namely intrinsic motive and censorship, subsequently elaborate normality and multicollinearity analysis based on integration of two theories, namely user and gratification and public interest theory. And then the result shows that the data is normal distributed and the multicollinearity is meet the standard, which is less than 0.85. Thus, this paper will proceed to further test the measurement model through confirmation factor analysis, or we call it as CFA. Right, this is the reference for this article, for this study. Okay, with that, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And if you have any question, please let me know. I just put your question at the bottom of this particular link. Thank you very much. See you again.